on Drury Lane.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. And oh, what a beautiful day. Oh, it was another weekend morning back in the kitchen on Drury Lane. And oh, it was time to make the muffins. Usually fast asleep am I from making muffins all night long. But this morning, like many others, I was a little bit confused and befuddled. While listening to the radio last night, I heard that many people are confused about this big issue called illegal immigration. Have you ever heard of this issue called illegal immigration and creating sanctuary cities? Now, wholeheartedly, I believe that everyone should act with compassion and mercy towards immigrants and others. I think we all also should believe that the United States should have more compassion and a more merciful immigration policy. However, that's not the question at hand. The question at hand concerns illegal immigration. Whether it is wrong to violate a nation's borders and transgress its immigration laws. Well, Romans chapter 13 makes it abundantly clear that God expects us to obey the laws of the government. But illegal immigration is a totally different controversial issue in the United States and many other countries, because it also involves following laws while also showing compassion and mercy. Are the immigration laws of the United States fair or are they unjust? Some think both sides of the equation. But above all, I hope that everyone will act with love for your neighbor. Let's look at this immigration debate and learn more about an organization seeking to help immigrants find their way. Remember, caring for the poor, orphans, and widows is something the Bible wants us to do.
This is our 20th anniversary. We have been intentional and proud in celebrating the ways we have tried to cultivate understanding and respect across religious traditions and culture. The other thing I'd like to add about what we're proud of here coming out of this staff, this building, is all the students and faculty we've had the good fortune to connect the refugee community at Rise, our neighbors right up the street. And the lives of the students, the faculty, and we and the staff who have connected with Rise, our lives have been enriched because of our immigrant and refugee neighbors. Thank you.
Neighbors are black and white. Neighbors are nearby and far away. Jesus, Jesus, fill us with your love. Show us how to serve the neighbors we have from you. These are the ones we should serve. These are the ones we should love. All our neighbors to us and you.
Oh, you guys are great. Thank you. I guess we're glad.
Se olvida y para qué sufrir, para qué si así es la vida hay que vivirla, la ley.
You'll love it! You'll love a free muffin from the Muffin Man. And here's your chance to get one. A free muffin delivered to you directly in the mail for just showing today's charity that you care. No money or credit cards or purchases necessary. And here's your chance. Simply send a message of support to today's charity and receive a free muffin in return. Log on to themuffinmangives.org. Make today a giving day. Will you join the Muffin Man in giving to others? We look forward to giving a free muffin to you as a thank you.
Welcome to everyone who has come out today. I really appreciate the number of individuals who are here to stand up and speak out and to ensure that all individuals, regardless of their zip code, their race, their religion, their country of origin, or their immigration status, are treated with dignity and respect.
Yes! We need that.
That's why this is the Dignity and Respect for All rally and gathering, and there are some individuals here. There's a number of groups that have participated over the last 2 months, and our numbers continue to grow. And I want to say thank you to ICE-free Capital District for your support. Thank you to Cosecha for all of your support, as well as a number of other individuals and groups all across the Capital District that help us today. So we have some people who are willing to speak about this important issue of dignity and respect for all. So my name is Jamaica Miles, and I was born and raised here in Schenectady. I'm never leaving.
Yeah!
That's good news, bad news, depending on where you stand. And I happen to be the lead organizer for Citizen Action of New York that believes firmly that we need to stand up for everyone at all times and not allow bigotry or hate or oppression to rule our societies. But our first speaker today, Veronica Perez Rodriguez, a professor of anthropology at SUNY Albany, a scientist, and an immigrant originally from Mexico. Veronica.
Thank you. Thank you. When asked to speak here, I sometimes ask, like, you know, why am I doing this? I grew up on the border. Every day I would cross the border to go to school for college. I know what it is like to be on the border. We are intertwined. I grew up in Juarez, El Paso. There is no Juarez without El Paso, and there's no El Paso without Juarez. We are intertwined. People are across the border, their families. And then, you know, I've been able to come here because life brought me here, and now this is the country of my children, and I'm on the way. And I really am bothered by what I see. Apparently it's a bad thing to be educated. It's a bad thing to understand science and to care about it. Yeah. So as a scientist, as a mother, and as an immigrant, it's an attack on everything I am every day. And I worry about the quality of water my children are gonna have. And if they're going to be targeted because of their name or the color of their skin or the fact that they speak other languages or the fact that they can see other people with or without religion and have no problem with it. I am here because I care about my children, and I imagine you do too. You have people you care about, and it's absolutely worrisome to see that parents are being ripped away from their children every day, and it's actually status quo. It doesn't even make it to the news. I have a 4-year-old. To think that I would have to leave him and make a plan for somebody else to take care of him, that is cruelty.
A COSECHA member and Union College professor, Danya.
Thank you. I'm going to be very brief. I just want to mention a couple of things that cosecha, for those of you that don't know Spanish, means harvest. And it is a movement that was created with the intent of achieving permanent protection, respect, and dignity for the 11 million undocumented immigrants that we have in the nation. Now, this movement, for the most part, is structured through the work of undocumented immigrants who are organizing, who are boycotting, who are resisting all of the different circumstances in which they have to live. They have been workers, many of them, for years in this country. They've been our neighbors. They've been family in many instances. They've become family. They've been citizens in the very same way that we know to be citizens. They pay taxes. They work hard. They get up in the morning. They care for their lawns. They idolize grass, just like everybody else, and their neighbors. And they go to school, and they're disciplined, and they also party, just like the rest of us. And so they need to be acknowledged as citizens in the country. And they need to have the same securities and safeties that our citizenship afford us. We all know that having papers does not necessarily or directly mean that you become a good citizen. As a matter of fact, you become a good citizen by the behavior and connections and community that you create. And undocumented immigrants and documented immigrants, all of them have been doing this for a long time, and we would not have these communities if that had not been happening. So I just want to call attention to the fact that the boycott is not just about different moments of refusing to work in these circumstances of fear and persecution, but also working toward a moment when we all can express solidarity by also refusing to work, because no society can function in the circumstances in which this particular government is asking us to function. Thank you.
So it is not some simple thing to say, oh, well, we're here for the immigrants, but, as long as they're here legally and, they did the process and they've followed all the rules. Guess what? Many times they follow the rules. They have their papers, and still they can be deported. They can have a green card, they can have their visas, and still be threatened and attacked because of where they come from or their religion. Any of that could be threatened. So standing up to say you're a sanctuary city is standing up and saying, I believe that all people deserve dignity and respect, and I will not serve under a government in any form that proposes bigotry or hatred or oppression of any group of people. And that's what we're asking for Schenectady to do. Our next speaker works specifically with the immigrant community, making sure that they are aware of their legal resources as well as some ramifications that they could face. Ceci Alfonso is an advocate for immigration legal education with the Public Policy Education Fund. Ceci.
Hi, I'm Ceci Alfonso, and I'd like to just very briefly share why this is such a powerful issue for me in particular. My father, Cuban, got off a ship, he was a merchant seaman, got off in New York City, did not speak English, and decided to stay. So, and my mother, a Puerto Rican who, when this country needed labor, made it really easy for Puerto Ricans to come here, and as a result, we have a lot of Puerto Ricans in Amsterdam in this area. So I personally probably would not be standing here if it had not been for courageous people who wanted to have a better life. With that said, I am the person who is reaching out to the immigrant community, and with the help of 2 county attorneys, one criminal and one family, we are reaching out to the immigrant community and informing them of their legal right. And if you have an altercation, a fight with your wife, and they call the police, you need to respond to that, because if you don't,
Get out of here. Everyone's allowed to have their moment to speak. And when we go inside at the city council, every person there has their moment to speak. If you're talking about political correctness, then offer respect to individuals that are standing up and using their American right of freedom of speech. Which
So am I.
Yes. And
But you are correct.
you will make sure that you allow these speakers to have their moment. If you want to have something to say afterwards, I am sure that these individuals
What, the
standing here,
liberal biased media? They are just like you all. Because dictatorships are bad.
Then talk about it when we're inside, but you're not going to stand here and take away from the time of these individuals who want
Oh
to
yeah,
have
yeah.
their voices heard.
Because dictatorships are bad. Because I did it last month.
So
where I
talk
put it
about
out
it
the
inside.
aspect
Then talk
of
about it
law
inside. And I
and
appreciate that.
safety.
And I appreciate your voice. So please.
I am not racist. I am not racist. I'm not terrorist. I'm in favor of women in here.
Anyway, I'd like to close with thank God for the 4th Amendment. We all have a right to say our piece. And I just want to close with saying that if you know of immigrants who are concerned, like most of us, about their status and the consequences of their legal or illegal behavior, they should contact me at 518-928-8199, and I'm working for the county and the public policy. Okay, so anyway, there's a lot going on, and a lot of us are trying to reach out to the community to basically say, we're here for you. We support you.
Thank you very much for inviting me here. I'm Lynn Jackson, Capital District Coalition Against Islamophobia. Our coalition is a group of people who work against racism and Islamophobia. And last night at our general meeting, we passed a resolution in support of the residents of the city of Schenectady for their dignity and respect, that we need dignity and respect for all. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And so our final speaker, before, many of us get ready to go inside to the city council meeting, because there's no reason for us all to just stand here and tell all of you why we're here. We need to make sure that the mayor and the city council are aware that even though it's been 2 months, we will not go away until Schenectady becomes a sanctuary city. That's real.
Stephanie Youngyat, I greet you in the Ganyageha, the Mohawk language, which we would all be speaking here if not for immigration, and some would say if not for illegal immigration. I live in Bellevue, a section of Schenectady where my grandparents raised my mother, in the same house, in fact, and I strongly believe that we need to be a sanctuary city in order to show that we will stand up for dignity and respect for absolutely all of our residents. I want to acknowledge that some of our supporters are not here tonight. I'd like to start by telling you a short passage from a diary of a young girl. And that young girl said, "How wonderful that we need not wait a single moment before improving the world." And had that young girl's family been allowed to come to the United States as refugees, Anne Frank would be about 87 years old today, and she would be celebrating and observing a Passover Seder with her family right now. So our Jewish friends are not here. They are hopefully safe and sound right now, having a Seder with their family, celebrating refugees in their history, while we are here on the steps standing up for the immigrants and the refugees, the undocumented members and the Muslim members of our community, because we absolutely will not stand for the Schenectady Police doing the job of ICE, and we absolutely will not stand for a Muslim registry in our city. But there are some things that I specifically 2 months ago did mention to the City Council, and they are as follows. That the Schenectady City government should, 1, state publicly that we reject the President's statements and characterization of immigrants, refugees, and Muslims as criminal and suspect.
That's right. Yes.
And that we welcome and value them as part of our community.
Yes.
Number 2, state publicly and enforce through legislation and policy that our city law enforcement will not collaborate with federal immigration law enforcement to arrest or detain immigrants. To this point, I will quickly say that it's my understanding from a meeting that myself and some others had with Chief Clifford is that it's not the police department's practice to even question someone's immigration status, and that they have no intentions of doing the work of ICE because we don't have the manpower, and it's not a priority. So we would appreciate that to be public and to be in policy and legislation. To number 3, state publicly that should a registry of Muslims or immigrants of any kind be implemented by the federal government, that the city will refuse to comply.
Yes.
There should be no question on this. And then lastly, in a general statement that I think is also important, that the city of Schenectady must ensure protection and support for everyone, regardless of their zip code, race, religion, country of origin, or immigration status. We trust that in this time of hatred and threats, that Schenectady will do the right thing and protect and defend all of our communities to the best of your abilities.
Yes.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I ride and around and upon my footsteps to the sparkle.
My name is Lynn Jackson. I'm with the Capital District Coalition Against Islamophobia. And today we participated in a immigrant and refugee march in Albany. And we are also out here at City Hall in Schenectady. The reason we participate in these events is it's very important for us to build coalitions with people who support immigrants, refugees, and who work against Islamophobia and racism. And that is why we are out here today. The issue is making people into the other, as if we're not part of the whole same human species. But we are. We are all one species. We are all one people. And there isn't any the other. We're all one. And I think that when the government or when people target some people as being somehow different or not the same as us, then we can say, oh, well, they're the other, and they can become a target. And that is wrong, because we're all people. We're all part of the human species, and we all need to live together in peace on Earth.
The reason I'm so passionate about this issue of immigration is because I'm a teacher, I'm a mom, and I come from a family of immigrants. We've been migrating from continent to continent for the past 150 years. We have some sad stories in our family. With all the sacrifices that have been made, children being left without fathers. I also went to college in South Africa. I was there the year that Mandela was elected. It was my final year in college, and this is just such a pressing issue and seems not to end somehow. And I think it's time for all of us to speak up as teachers, as mothers, as citizens, speak up for one another. I was very touched by the nationwide support when the Muslim ban came out, and I just feel that I need to be here and standing up for other people as well. Thank you.
Everyone is welcome to join the Capital District Coalition Against Islamophobia. There are quite a number of ways to be involved in our coalition. One is to come to our coalition meetings. All of this is on our website, which is stopislamophobia.com. We meet the second Sunday of the month at the Masjid Al-Salam Mosque in Albany, New York at 280 Central Avenue. We meet the fourth Wednesday of the month at the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Albany at 405 Washington Avenue in Albany, New York, and everyone is welcome to come. Or you can sign up for our listserv and get notices of events like this, of rallies, of actions that people can take to work for peace and justice and to work against Islamophobia and racism. And come out to events. The other thing you can do is, if you belong to an organization that wants to work in coalition with us, to have your organization contact us, and we can work together on projects to fight Islamophobia and racism and to make our world a better and happier place to live.
Well, welcome back. I'm still trying to bake the muffins. But finally, I think we're finished. I hope you enjoyed our show today. If you would like to make an order or donate muffins to charity, then please go to the website listed below. With every muffin order, we donate muffins to the charity of your choice. I call it giving your dough to charity. I also encourage you to donate directly to the featured charity today by going directly to our website and getting their information. Thank you very much for watching, and keep on dancing through life by giving to others through love. Let me finish baking these muffins, and see you next time.